just waking up, haven't even had a cup of coffee. This is the way you all are. This is the way it's been the entire time. This is what I've been trying to say to you, Jurgen, and Beata, and, hello. You approach everything like you are superior beings. This is a perfect example. So, the FBI found out, actually, I think Horvat and her officers knew about this. I don't remember, but I think so. At one point, I had considered when I was in high school, I looked at becoming an FBI agent. I thought about it. I didn't look into it or anything. This is when I was in high school. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. And they're supposed to be the best of the best. And then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, well, all the articles and stuff and the news, this and that. And I'm like, clearly there's a lot of corruption within the FBI. And you always hear about stuff. You would hear stories, Ruby Ridge, this and that. You would always hear all sorts of stuff. And it was always about them using and abusing their power. And furthermore, I realized, well, that has to do with corruption within the FBI, and it's at the top. And you could see that there are all sorts of people who work for the FBI that are corrupt. You can see there's a corrupt system within it. So the point is, they hit me up with, like, it's an accusation. Well, you say you thought about becoming an FBI agent when you were in high school. But you can't stand the FBI, and they're all corrupt and this and that. And, like, it implies something about me. And I'm like, well, how do you think that one worked? But the thing is, they accuse me, like, they found something. They found something which proves that I'm not telling the truth. This is the way they approach everything. The whole thing is about proving you are correct. And this means that I am correct. A BKA agent, or, agent period. This proves I'm correct. Because this is a contradiction. You go, well, in high school you had considered joining the FBI, signing up, becoming an agent. And then here you are, you're like, later, the FBI is corrupt in this and that. And they're like, well, that's a contradiction. And they're like, this proves you're not honest with yourself. And that's a load of shit. That's about you being superior beings. You go, well, your psychology's messed up. That's a contradiction. Point is, you do not do the math and then find out what the contradiction is. You just go, well, that proves what I believe is correct. And this proves it. This is one more thing that proves I'm correct. You don't go, well, that's a contradiction, in that there's a contradiction there based on something I don't know and based on his psychology. This is how y'all are. You're more interested in proving to yourselves you're correct about a viewpoint which isn't correct. Do you understand the word correct now? It's not accurate. It is shit that is in your head, and you've just proven to yourself that your own bullshit in your head, which is about you, not about me, you just proven to yourself that you're correct over something that doesn't even exist for me. And do you know how you got there? Because you didn't ask enough questions and find out. That's about you and your fucking egos and your goddamn psychology. It's just like these agents brought up, well, you said you had this experience in 8th grade with UFOs, but then later, your first enlightenment experience, you're saying you realize that there's life on other planets, and it's a universe full of life. There's life on other planets. Let's just leave it at that. And they go, well, that's a contradiction. You're saying you had the experience. That means you didn't have the experience in 8th grade. If your first enlightenment experience, you're saying you realize that there's life on other planets. And you go, well, that's a contradiction. No, that's you not finding out the truth. And you just believing what you want to believe because you didn't find out. And this is how it's been the entire step and way here. So I'm like, with these agents, I'm like, well, yeah. In high school, I realized that the FBI is a corrupt organization, and that is why I decided I did not want to become an FBI agent. I realized that I would be working underneath corrupt people, and I would have to, you got to go with the flow, right? And then, it wasn't hard to figure out. I just end up in trouble with an agency. I would be inside the agency. That's where a lot of people are now. You see ex-agents starting to be in the news now for corruption of the FBI. Imagine that one. The key thing for me was, well, when the organization is corrupt, it's not about right and wrong, and there's no point to any of it. There's no point in working for a corrupt organization. It's just going to cause problems. And, that was it for me. I was like, well, I'm not there's no way I'm going to try and become a FBI agent. Now, there's two pieces to my experience here at this house in 8th grade. And then my first enlightenment experience. These agents go, well, that's a contradiction. No, it's not. This is what I mean. You do not find out the truth. The way these agents had it set up and the way they've done all the videos here, they affect me into, quite literally, interfere with my own thoughts so I can't explain myself. And then they make me fit what they believe with technology. What they believe is some shit that's in their heads, and because they didn't double check in the first place. So then when I go explaining the real answer to you, what they do is they hijack me with technology and fuck me up in video. And they tried doing this, by the way. It was almost impossible to explain this when I did explain this in video. I was like, yeah, that sounds really damning. That sounds like you've got me, except you don't. Hello? This is what I mean. You don't scratch past the surface. You don't find out. This is all about you being superior beings. This is why I refer to you as the master race a lot. You're sloppy. You are sloppy based on your own egos. That's about what you want to believe about me instead of finding out. I guarantee you I'm more intelligent than all the people I've dealt with from your agency. You're all balls to walls, incompetent, and stupid. And the point is, this is all of you. This is what I keep noting about agents. Then you have the nerve to say that's about my ego. Man, you'd better start finding out what your fucking mistakes are, you asswipes. Point number one is, when I had this experience in 8th grade, this is not something like, yeah, it changes, clearly. It changes what you think about the world, the nature of reality. That's the point. It changes everything about how you look at the world that you live in. It changes your ideas of God, the universe, and on and on and on. But the point is, you don't turn into the space homie guy. You're not like, I had this experience. I'm a VIP now. And, it's an experience that happened in your life. It changes how you look at shit, and then you move on from the experience. It's just like I went, in my early 20s, we went to this girl's house. There was this story about a ghost at the house. I saw a ghost. And yeah, it's one thing to say that you believe in that shit. It's another thing to have the experience. The same thing with UFOs. But the point is that changes how you view shit. You get it? Especially when you have the experience. Absolutely. It's no longer, I think this. It's, I've had the experience and I know it is this way. You get it? So it changes how you view everything, but you don't become ghost boy. You're not like, wow, I saw a ghost. I'm a VIP now. So it's the same thing here. When I had my first enlightenment experience, I was not thinking about this experience from 8th grade. There's point number one. Point number two is my realization was like a, It's like a world viewpoint. That's how things changed for me during my first enlightenment jump. I realized that life is all over the place out there in the universe. And, it's all over the place. And we think we're the only ones. And I was like, no, we're not the only ones. The universe there's life all over the place. Statistically speaking, we cannot be the only life. But the point is, it became more like a global viewpoint for me. This barrier of, well, maybe there's a few races out there and this and that was all gone. No, I realize it's not like that at all. I realize that the Earth is like a country here on the planet. And the way we are like Germany, but out there's also America, there's Africa, the Congo, there's Brazil, there's this, there's that. That's how I realize things. I realize that we are just one piece and that there are all these other pieces out there. It's like I realize, well, humanity is a part of a bigger picture. That's the difference. And they see this right now, by the way, yet again, because they can't admit that they fucked up, once again, about their egos and about yours. Point is, I realize that humans, humanity, and Earth is just one country in a sea of many countries. Do you understand what I mean? Think of the universe as being like an ocean. This is real simple for you to understand. Think of the universe as being like an ocean and space between the planets being the water. And the point is, I realize that we, Earth and humans, we are just one country of many out there. My understanding became like a global thing. We understand that we are not the only countries. It's not like we think it's just Germany and America. We understand there is a global picture. There are all these other countries, from Bali to the Marshall Islands to Brazil to Australia and on and on. We understand there's a bigger picture, and we understand how we fit into that picture. That's what it was. But the point is, when I tried to explain this in video for the first time, all I had was this technology slowly trying to hijack me and take over, and they wanted it to be their answer. I almost couldn't explain myself. Busy pushing in a feeling of it's not true or something, their version, what they wanted to believe. So then I start looking the way that they believe I am, and they end up smoking the technology effects. This is what you all do. And this is where I've let the FBI just fuck themselves continuously, because they're not interested in passing on the truth to German agents and agencies. If they had, I wouldn't be doing videos. So let's switch subjects. Now, the funny thing is, because they have not, I'm forced into doing this. It's quite literally based on the actions of agents and agencies. It's not what I want to be doing. I have better shit to do with my life than to spend my time and my energy with a bunch of goddamn egotistical fuck-ups. Because this shit here is all over the place. The entire step and way, it's been about accusing me. And you just proving to yourselves that you're correct about something that you didn't even find out about. You just very quickly, the first answer you got where you proved to yourselves you're correct, you just took it in your hand. You didn't scratch past the surface and find out. Now, strangely enough, as we do psychology here, let's take a look at this. You've proven to yourselves that I'm a spinner by you yourselves being spinners. Now, the next point is you're supposed to be agents. You get paid a lot of money for getting to the bottom of things and finding out what the truth is. This is what I have found out about all of you. It's one of the messages of the book. You're a bunch of egotistical fakes. You only perform your jobs as well as you are intelligent and, quite frankly, competent. Many of you just shit can your training. This is about how crackheads off the street do their jobs instead of actually performing intelligently and competently. So what you've done is you've proven to yourselves that I am a spinner, I am a flake, I am a crackpot, and you got there by actually being a spinner and a crackpot yourselves. You wanted to believe I'm a spinner, and as soon as you proved it to yourselves, you stopped looking. That's where your thinking stopped. Didn't occur to you, well, there might be some real answers here. Never occurred to you that there might be one more layer here for you to look at. The whole thing's been about what you feel, and then you perform from there. You've not put your feelings to the side and performed competently and objectively. And this is how it's been the entire step and way. You're like a bunch of goddamn American McDonald's employees, quite frankly. Most of you do not really give a shit about your job, but you love the money. This is what I'm betting. But the point is, you go proving yourselves, I'm a spinner, I'm a crackpot, I'm a flake, by being flakes, by being spinners. You're supposed to be paid agents. And the next point is, you could say, if this were just 2 times this happened, I'd be like, okay, well, you made mistakes. But it's not. It is all over the place, and for 22 fucking years. So I get you all better than you get yourselves. You all are a great big lie. So then it must be, you think I made up this story from 8th grade. You're absolutely fucking amazing. I did an interview about it. I did speak about that in the interview. You can look at the interview. You think I'm making it up? You're balls to the wall stupid. The next point is, you've then decided, on this one thing, you've decided that's fake. I've made it up. And the reality is, as these agents know now, I've had at least 6 people with me, different people at different times, who saw UFOs with me. Go fuck yourselves. So then you invent another reason to explain that. Well, that's just coincidence. Never occurred to you, actually, your viewpoint is in the minority, that I'm a spinner. And it never occurred to you, you might have the whole puzzle incorrect here. Imagine that one. And the one that I get, that you do not, is that it's about my energy in the first place. This is why I have the experiences over and over and over. You go, well, this proves he's a spinner, making it up, or delusional, made it up, and believe, told it for so long he believes it now. That's my most likely guess with you idiots. And then you think that's how it is with Horvat and her officers here. You think she held you in. No, she held me in. And on and on and on. This is how you do your business. The reality is, I had that experience right here at this house in 8th grade. And the reason why I've had so many experiences is because of my energy. They pick up on my energy. I ask for contact, and I have it. And that's the way it's been, for all my experiences here. And that is why I've had at least 6 experiences with 6 different people, and they were there, and they saw UFOs with me. I think it's actually more than that. Hello? Strangely enough, I'm sounding like a guy from a movie or a book. Imagine that one. Then, to top it all off, if that weren't enough, guess what? As the FBI knows, and as is in your file, no doubt, more delusional experiences, I had more unusual experiences right here at this house, including one at a tree back here. Right back in there. Guess what? My brother was there for it. And guess what? I had that experience more than once. I had an experience with that maybe the year before or something, coming home from school. So there's one experience right there, some kind of monkey type of creature with 6 arms. Imagine that one. And then I had, yet again, one more experience with a ghost type of thing, breathing heavily, like Darth Vader, but without inhaling, but angry. Right outside my bedroom door, right here in this house. And guess what? My brother also experienced that. And unless I'm mistaken, a bunch of my friends did as well. Hello? Then to top it all off, we can toss my sister into the mix. She had a friend, an invisible friend, who she called Sissy Robot. Because this woman who spoke to her spoke with a very high-pitched voice. And I, as a child, I'm 10 years older than my sister. She was very young. So maybe I was like, I must have been in like 8th grade or 9th grade. Class 8 or class 9. But I began to realize, no, she's actually speaking with somebody. So I started asking her questions. And what I began to realize is she's actually seeing, there's somebody else actually communicating with my sister. And she's a friend of my sister. And she calls this friend Sissy Robot. But the point is, I started asking her questions, and she would give answers. And I realized, no, there's somebody communicating with her. Hello? So, in these experiences, what they do is they open the doors in your mind, and you realize, it's just like me when I had my first enlightenment experience. I realized we are one country in an ocean of countries with life on it. You get it? And it was the same thing here. You have these experiences, and you realize that the whole picture is different than you ever realized. You understand? That is what happens when you have these experiences. Now, the one that I get that you do not, because you're too busy labeling me a spinner, you take a look at my experience in 8th grade, realizing Einstein's theory of relativity at the age of 14. Hello? And the point is, this is all about physics. All these experiences I had involve God's laws, which is just another word for the deeper physics. So those experiences told me, well, this is possible because I've witnessed this shit. It's happened. So that tells me that there are things which work here in this world which we do not understand. And that involves physics. The experience here with the 6-armed monkey creature on this tree and the breathing outside my bedroom door, my sister speaking with an invisible woman with a high-pitched voice, hello? All of it involves physics which we don't know or understand. So you take a look, 8th grade, I realized Einstein's theory of relativity. I'm at the age of 14, and I realized that this all involves deeper physics, God's laws. Hello? And you take a look, I'm somebody who's had 6 or 7 enlightenment experiences now. Hello? Where I go right up to 99% of the way and then turn around and come back down. But the point is, when you come back from those, you're never the same. How you even think that's possible is beyond me. So this is what I'm talking about. You do not think deeply enough you don't actually analyze the experiences, the circumstances. It's literally impossible to have even one of these and to be the same. It's impossible. It's like you hear people taking mushrooms and they have these epiphany moments and then they grow and change. They totally change afterwards. That's because of what they realized with their mind. The point is, you don't need mushrooms for it. But that's a way of being able to help yourself. And the point is, you have even one of these experiences, you don't come back the same. Are you kidding? All you're doing is experiencing God around you and in a million different ways. You see beyond the veil. You understand this is all one big matrix. You see outside of it. You don't come back from that and see shit the same. You're actually stupid. All of you. That's the point. You're not only stupid, but the point is, you don't even practice your training. The point is, if you had done your training correctly and asked questions and tried to find out at least, you would have found out that it's not the way you think it is. You don't even practice your training. So you're not intelligent, plus you're incompetent. If you had at least done your jobs correctly, you would have found out anyhow. But you're too stupid to follow your training. And that's what I'm talking about. It's got the stink of Horvat all over it. It's falsely accusing me and just believing what you want to believe. It's always, I'm up here. You are up here, not me. I'm saying it from the point of view of an agent. But you're always like, we're up here and you're down here. This is what I'm talking about, the Jew reference. You are always looking down on me in regards to all your viewpoints. Hello? That's how you fucked up the entire stepping way here. So then I call you stupid here, and you go, well, that's about your ego. No, look up the word, you assholes. You're actually stupid. This is the entire point. You don't even get the goddamn meaning of words here. This is what I am angry about. It's all of your fucking up. It's not just that you fucked up. I want to be real clear about this one, because I'm sure they've lied about this. I'm not permanently angry at you because of all your fucking mistakes here. Oh, no, your fuck-ups. I'm moving on with my life regardless. But I'm forced into speaking to little kids, little clever, egotistical kids who want to be correct about everything and just go making everything fit that they know. And the reality is you don't, because you're incompetent and you're stupid. This is the entire point. But I'm angry because I've still got to deal with you all, and you're balls to the wall stupid, you're balls to the walls incompetent, and you're fucking up my life. That is what I'm angry about. That is why I bring up your mistakes. I have no fucking choice. I'm angry with you because I'm forced into dealing with you over your mistakes in the first place. That is what I'm angry about. This is all going on based on your mistakes. That is what I am angry about. Then I'm forced into dealing with you, like my being forced into dealing with my parents. I can get along with you, and then once you're out of my life, man, you are all out of my life. That is where I am at. I am angry over the circumstances here and why. So then I go telling you, you all are stupid, and you all go taking it personally. And once again, this is supposed to be agents. And the funny thing is, you're not capable of making yourselves more intelligent. These agents here are perfect proof of it. They get more information, they still perform as goddamn idiots. Boy, that one's on repeated observation. That shit's daily. So, all the way across the board here, it's about your egos. And the last thing in the world you all are is professional. Your responses all across the board here, it's always about your own egos. Furthermore, you're the ones coming at me with your own psychological issues, your own things to learn, your own problems here. And you got there by not doing your jobs correctly in the first place. You've not seen me correctly at all. You've seen me the way you want to see me. Well, that's totally different. And, you know, Horvat is the best example of somebody who takes things personally and based on their egos. Imagine that one. Maybe you should spend a little bit of time thinking about the fact that Horvat is not only a psychopath, but an extremely egotistical psychopath. Then take a look at the fact that I am saying she deliberately held me in stalking, and that is what my girlfriend Monica knows. And on and on and on. The whole thing is about Horvat having held me in for her personal reasons and what she wanted. And one of the first things I realized is, well, her whole team of agents are bad. They went along with this. And I realized, well, they were corrupt way before they met me. They held me in, they didn't even blink. The whole point about Monica is she saw I had totally changed, and she knew that I could go free of the stalking based on that. The next point is you had me labeled as having a split personality, and I never had one. You just practiced. The FBI agent who picked that just did pop psychology. Oh, he's like his mother. What a load of shit. You know, I could say that about the agent in charge. Maybe he's got penis envy. You know, hello? And strangely enough, the only other agent in charge who I've put in a category the same or similar to Horvat's still at the top. But the one that comes as number 2 is the one that framed me and put me in this. Also an egotistical psychopath. The difference between my mother and me is night and day. It's like the difference between Andreas and his mother. He also cannot stand his mother. And I spoke to him about that. I asked him questions because I was like, well, this is just like me with my mother. And he is enlightened, and I'm looking at the bigger picture. Well, he had that experience and had the mother that he had. It's all written ahead of time. There's a blueprint. You decide who you're going to be, what family you're going to be born into. There's a whole nother level and layer here behind the scenes. So I was asking him questions about that. You know, he has nothing to learn from his mother. What's the point? The whole thing is, I'm not about forcing my viewpoints on people. But in this case, I've got to deal with you. Yet, this is what the FBI has been trying to sell to my sister and others. You've got to believe what I believe. Boy, that one's a load of shit. I'll point out the truth to somebody, and I'll try and get them to wake up about something, but at the end of the day, they can take it or leave it. That's where I'm at. You decide if you want to grow and learn. That's your life. That is not on me to make others grow and change. That's what I like about being a writer. People can learn, and they can decide what they learn, and they will take in the stuff which they are able to take in, and other things that might take them a while to learn. That's something else they've got to learn down the road. But it's not on me. That's ridiculous. I've got my own life. It's me and loved ones, and that's it. The point is, my life is about me, and what you do with yours is about yours. The problem here with agents and agencies is you're coming at me based on having labeled me in a way which they're fucking with me now. Hang on. You are coming at me. They're still fucking with me. You are coming at me with your own misperceptions. You've labeled me a threat to agencies when I never was. Boy, you're amazing on that one. What was the lesson of the stalking? There's no changing the stalking when it gives so much power to government. I realized that all the way back in 1997. I might have even realized it before that. Might have even been my first year, for all I know. That's just one example from my life. I point to 1997, alien autopsy. They had it on TV. 1/4 of the world watched it. Hello? That's amazing, by the way. I think that must be the record. And, you know, right then and there, I was like, well, this thing's not real. The government's got so much control from the stalking that can't be real. That they let that be released to the news. That's all the way in 97. Hello? But the point is, I realize I can't change it. You know, there's no changing it at all. And the point is, they're fucking with me. Hang on. Anytime you see me delayed like this, none of this is difficult to speak about. The point is, the idea that I would be a threat to agents and agencies is ridiculous. I'd already witnessed murder at that point, all sorts of shit. The one that I got are that agencies are dangerous. You've got way too much power and no morals, no ethics. You're all out of control. Outsert control. You're all out of control. And this idea that in 2002, if I went free, I would be a threat to agencies. That's based on, this is all made up in your heads. If you were to tell Monica that, she would laugh. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's new to her and it's new to me. Actually, I was all about getting a writing career, successful writing career, money. Then it would be land and a house off the grid where we could be independent. And all about this time now, so that we'd be ready for the coming times. Now I'm here. I'm in a worst case scenario, and because you all have fucked up the entire step in the way here. You know, I did a video. I've got to edit it because they were affecting me. Yes, I get angry when I think about this shit. I'm forced into doing these videos. It's all about all the ridiculous shit you believe here. You're like a bunch of little retarded kids. When I say that, I mean that literally. Like you should be holding your teeth, you know, while you're looking at the video. This is how you are for me. I am having to explain absolutely ridiculous stuff based on your own lack of thinking in the first place. Boy, does it fucking piss me off. But then they hijack me with technology anger also. Hello? So I've got to edit the video. But again, you hear me bring up, it's like David Icke. These agents out in Phoenix said, well, we'll sell it to Germans as... you can only, and I didn't think about this at all. This was literally them communicating this to me. They're like, well, we will just sell it as you're only capable of thinking that way when you sit down to write a book. And finally out here, I'm like, well, that's a load of shit. That's like saying David Icke only understands his material when he sits down to write about it. It's a load of shit. He lives and breathes it. Where do you think I'm at? That's just common sense. Hello? But look at how you all are here. You have one enlightenment experience. You're totally changed for life. I had 6 or 7. Quite literally, it's like we're in the Matrix and you're one of the people off the street trying to understand Neo. That's a good comparison, actually. My understanding of the world, God's laws, the nature of reality is very different than your own. Furthermore, I live and breathe this. It's how I'm able to do mind over matter at times. Probably one more thing you labeled delusional. Your balls to the wall's incredible. All of this is based on your own lack of thinking, your own lack of intelligence, and your own incompetence. Because at least if you had followed through and performed as actual agents, instead of a bunch of lazy homies here, homie to homie here, you would have realized all sorts of shit. You just take the answer which makes you feel good and where you're up here and I'm way down here. But for that viewpoint, you're living a lie. If I wasn't forced into dealing with you, I wouldn't give a shit. You're all like my parents. That's the entire point. You're like crackheads off the street. You bring your psychology to the psychology department. You cannot figure me out that way no more than you can a Horvat. You get it? In one way, this whole thing's always been a game of survival. Really, for me, it's about not choosing not to have the experience. This is where I was in 2002. Success, money, land, house, way off the grid, living somewhere safe. I always had it in my head as Germany, but then once the times get bad, we would have to move out of Germany, somewhere south of the equator. And now we're here. And I'm living out of a tent. Take a look, man. A Zelt. But it was always about stepping outside from the world drama here, because I already get what it's about. You can't change how shit's going to play out here because there are too many people like yourselves who are non-conscious, non-thinking, stupid, and you're going to fuck the world up based on how you are and your choices. So the entire plan was always to step outside of that. Just me and my family, we move outside somewhere safe and let the world play out its drama. I'm still there. I have nothing to learn from the experience. This is about people at the top of the food chain, the elite, who are going to use people who are similar for destroying the world here, basically, because the ideas of the elite here aren't going to work. It's what prophecies are all about. Book of Revelation, Book of Daniel, all that shit. These agents found this out back, I think it was in August or September, I think it was. My writing here, it's about waking up the people who are ready to wake up. It's not for everybody. Everybody is not on the same level of consciousness. Everybody is not on the same intelligence level. A lot of people just don't want to understand the system they live in because it's too scary for them in the first place. Quite frankly, most people are just stupid. They just don't think about this shit. It can't be changed. That's the entire point. So shit's going to go right down the toilet here. I have known that for, at least since 2002. The point is, the people who don't wake up are going to be the ones that have the experience. There's nothing I can do about that. But that's what my writing is about. The ones who are awake will move somewhere safe. The ones who are asleep are going to have the experience. I write about this, the path of consciousness or the path of experience. What the fuck do you think I choose? So then you've invented all this shit in your heads where I'm a threat to agencies and, oh, look how delusional you are. You say all of that because you don't understand me in the first place. You just go labeling everything delusional. Who put you there? Horvat did? American agencies did? And yourselves. Why do you think I'm angry about the torture? You are torturing me over your own fucking misbeliefs in the first place. It's all shit in your head, not mine. You don't get one goddamn thing about my psychology. You don't even get insults. Hello? Look up the word idiot. So then you go, well, you're saying Horvat deliberately held you in stalking. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Congratulations. She and her officers held me in stalking. It was clear that I'm more than qualified for going free. That is what Monica was a witness to. Strangely enough, she got labeled delusional as well, because you labeled me a threat to agencies, and I never was one. Hello? It was clear Horvat had held me in because she's a psychopath, and this had to do with her own fucking warped mind here. That's the entire point. I'm more than qualified for going free in 2002. Hello? It was blatantly obvious I had been held in, and for Horvat's personal reasons. Do you understand? And it was clear this had to do with something up here with her. And I remained optimistic. I thought at first, I went through all these different thoughts. They're corrupt and this and that. And then I was like, well, maybe, I was the way I always am. Give a person a chance. So I'm like, well, finally, whatever hang-up she has here, maybe in time she will get over it. I remained happy and optimistic, kept trying to pass stalk. I kept thinking I would go free based on where I'm at. That's the entire point. So did Monica. The point was I could pass based on where I was actually at. Horvat would tell us the end test date. She'd tell it to Monica. We'd be all happy and optimistic. I'm about to go free from prison. We're about to start a whole new life here. And then Horvat would hold me in. Hello? And you were doing all of that based on a profile I didn't have. So eventually it got to this point where, I had this theory Horvat is holding me in because the FBI lied in their file. They didn't put it in that I was framed by them. They just passed it in the file as being real and true. Horvat's a woman, and I was like, well, maybe that's it. And then finally it reached this point, because Horvat kept holding me in. It reached this point, I realized, no, Horvat knows that this is all a lie. So then I started doing my autobiography, and that made more mess. But it's been all based on you fuck-ups, not me. You have forced me into circumstances. So then what we see is, once again, I'm intelligent, and I put the whole real goddamn file together. Your Coinal Pro smear campaign here, the egotistical psychopath who put me into gang stalking, all of his fucking up. There's at least one murder I know about now, plus the attempt on my life, and on and on and on. So then I became a threat to agents and agencies because of what I know, but you put it there. You constantly remove yourselves from the equation and then dump it on me. That's not how you measure reality. That is not correct assessing at all. You fucked up and then you go dumping it on me. Boy, is that one not acceptable. So know your mistakes and find out your mistakes before you go making even more sloppy assumptions. So now let's get to this video, which I've done here, which I still have to edit. They're pushing in technology, viewpoints and stuff like it's on you in regards to murdering my family in Germany, and that's not how I view any of this. Actually, it's on the agents here and Horvat and our officers. That's exactly who that is on. You would be going there based on lies in the first place. Where it would be on you is you would actually be making a decision to murder based on your own fucking mistakes and trusting people you shouldn't be trusting. And that has been the entire step and way here. The other one is that actually makes sense for you. Now, I got a little news flash for you. Your stalking world's finished here. You don't even know how to do your own fucking illegal shit here. You haven't accurately profiled me. You've not cleaned up your mistakes. As a result, you go on labeling me a threat to agents and agencies. You go, well, it looks that way. Well, it looks that way because, strangely enough, you removed your own actions and all your mistake-making for the last 22 years for that fucking viewpoint. That is exactly how you got there. Therefore, when I do these videos, you go, wow, he's crazy. He's definitely delusional. He doesn't get his circumstances here. No, that is you not getting my circumstances and where I am coming from, where I am at, and my psychology. Point is, you will have gotten there based on your own fucking up in the first place. You think it's difficult for me to understand my psychology? Boy, just all the way around you slap on delusional. Furthermore, you use it to explain things where actually, this one's all over the place. This is the point. You just slap delusional onto shit and don't see my psychology. And actually, if you just thought about it, you'd be able to see my psychology. Common sense goes a long ways here. So you're holding me in stalking based on not having my profile correct. And you're torturing and you're killing, and you think that killing one more person is going to fix your circumstances. If it's not me, it most certainly is not. And quite frankly, you'll be murdering me, once again, based on your own fucking up. When I am in these circumstances, and I got a little news flash for you. It's going to be all my books are coming out, and interviews, and money, and we'll see where shit is at with agents and agencies. But you're not staying in my life. These terms no longer exist. You can't even run your illegal shit properly, competently in the first place. That's the entire point. From here on out, there's consequences. Welcome to the world of real life. There are no goddamn laws when you break all of them in the first fucking place. Strangely enough, the laws only apply to me here. Quite frankly, everything you believe is delusional and invented on your end. In regards to all sorts of stuff. I'll tell you exactly where Horvat and her officers are at. They did so much killing and got so goddamn filthy. And then one day they went out for beers or something. And they started joking around about doing what they want with this technology. And they realized, hey, we can do it. We kill, we torture, we do all this shit. Everything evil under the sun. And we got to follow rules here. What rules? What laws? It's just every man for himself. It's pig heaven. If you're corrupt, it is. You imagine having this technology, how easy it is to make shitloads of money? Are you kidding me? That's my first bet in regards to Horvat and her officers. It's irrelevant. But I have wondered about it, how they got to where they are at. That's your job, actually. But, I have wondered at times. And it was probably like that. There's no God. It's not about morality. It's not about goddamn ethics. No, nothing. So you get paid more money to keep it all hush-hush, top secret. And although really you don't, you go telling high school kids at Walmart about the technology and shit. You lie to them about all of it, but you do tell them about the technology. So in one way, that in and of itself is a lie, but these agents get paid more because it's classified program, classified technology to buy trust. Well, that one's also stupid. You could be rich as shit by misusing this technology. Are you kidding? But it's beside the point, actually, because it really did happen. My point is, I just wonder about it sometimes, But I would bet that's how that started. Probably they all got together. It starts off with joking, and then they really get to thinking about, hey, we can actually do this. But again, it's beside the point. It doesn't change the fact that this actually happened. Really, it's irrelevant because it did happen. From the beginning, it just never occurred to your agency that Horvat and her officers were corrupt and out of control the entire time. They're rogue. I know that, and my girlfriend knows that because Horvat actually held me in. That's the entire point. It was blatantly obvious that I should have been freed. That's the one that I get and Monica gets that your agency doesn't. How did you think this works? You go, well, you sent us this file in 2014, and you're wrong about all of it. You thought we didn't know about all of this, but we did. So then you go, well, that proves that she didn't hold you in stalking. That is not how you arrive at truth or reality. I am wearing the shoes. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Actually, if you're going to get to the bottom of things, you got to understand Horvat lied to your agents and agency, held me in, and this whole thing's been about what she wanted with me, her obsession with me. It's a goddamn obsession, you jackasses. Whole time it's been about what she wanted. And the point is, she is right there out in the open doing all of this, and you never realized it, acting as herself. And why? Because you believed the lie at the beginning. But if you want to know what the truth is of Horvat's profile and mine, then that's where it starts, 2002. You got to understand what happened, and then you'll understand Horvat the way that Monica and I came to understand her, year by year. It's real simple. What do people think about agents and agencies? Everybody thinks professionals and they check their shit. Your agency never checked. The entire way you believe that I qualified for being held in stalking, and I never did. In fact, it was blatantly obvious to Horvat and her officers that I qualified. That's the entire point. So if you understand that, then you look at everything done year by year. No, your agency did not know what was going on. They had no business doing any of it. All the murder, all the torture based on a lie sold to you. That is where I was coming from in 2014, and that is where Monica has been. Strangely enough, if Horvat and her officers hadn't held me in 2002, I would never know the truth about Horvat or her officers. Same thing with Monica. That's the truth of it. You go, why would Horvat do that? Hello? What are psychopaths known for? Aberrant behavior, aberrant thought. They are not normal. Once again, you screwed up. You're thinking agent to agent. You should have been thinking in terms of a goddamn psychopath and a team SS agents, you jackasses. This is what this is all about. This is what American agencies are worried about. Hello? For the CIA and the FBI, this is about relations with Germany, you fuck-ups. But take a look at how they've handled it. This is going to catch up with all of you anyhow. So I quite literally, I'm done with all of you fuck-ups. I could care less. This is going to catch up with everybody here anyhow. You got it? So I want to be living my life and getting prepared before shit hits the fan here. And it looks like we're going to start having problems in April. I'm fucked. And take a look at people I've dealt with from alternative media here. They're actually following along with the FBI and going along with the stalking shit here in one sense. No contact and this and that. Hello? Take a look. I'm royally fucked. And if you're from the alternative media looking at this, this is all illegal in the first place. Furthermore, as we've come to find out here, I think, if you're honest with yourselves, the FBI is guilty as shit. There's no goddamn stalking. This is about right and wrong. I've got to get out of the country. And has gotten here based on your mistakes in regards to profiling and then Horvat and our officers here and the CIA and the FBI. They've put themselves into this corner, not me. What do you think I'm doing? Getting my book done, getting all my books out, interviews, and I'm getting out of the country. I've got my life to live here, and I'll be lucky if I even survive here. You know, I was able to communicate this one time to Simone, the Bay-Ka agent living next door to us, right next to my girls. I was able to communicate to her one time all of this, and I was like, yeah, she held me in. Monica knows this. Horvat and her officers did. It's for her own reasons here. It's because she's a psychopath, and she's been doing all of this right out in the open, and you think it's all about stalking. I said something like that to her. And the point is, I was able to explain it to her. And her reaction was, no. She was like, no, that can't. She started to wake up for a moment, and then she was like, no, that can't be correct. Maybe she's doing stalking, because I don't remember right now well enough to be able to analyze the circumstances back then. You know, my being affected with technology, what have you. But I was able to communicate this to her, and her first reaction was denial. That is her struggling to understand Horvat's psychology here. You have to understand it's about her being a psychopath in the first place. She and her officers figured they could do this and get away with it. And they did. And my best guess is it's because your agency never had any reason to think that they would do something like this. From your point of view, they're not corrupt. No, this is the one that I and Monica found out the hard way. They're rogue. But it all gets down to Horvat's psychology. I put this together in the first few days. I was like, she's the one that calls the shots. This is her decision making, and this is about her. But then I realized, well, her agents are all corrupt also. I was like, the whole team's corrupt. They all went along with it. This is quite literally, I think this was even the first day that she held me in. So, but the entire thing is about Horvat here and the psychology of a psychopath. That's the one you never gotten. So the reality is she's right there in the file, right out in the open, waving her hands in front of the faces of German agents, and you don't see her for the psychopath she is. That is what I was always talking about. You all thought, well, and I didn't. I didn't think you knew she was a psychopath at times. Maybe the entire time. I'll have to think about it. But the point was always that the entire thing has been based on her being a psychopath in the first place. How do you think it was for me? Look at what I was trying to understand. It took me a long time. I was, I came up with this theory that the FBI didn't put the truth of the framing in the file. Because that made more sense than actually seeing her for who she is. But then I realized yet again, no, that's not it. Hello? Eventually, I came to realize, well, it was always about Horvat wanting to break my will. That's really what it was about. She was attracted to that. That got her rocks off. Perverse pleasure. And that's what she was using the stalking for. Why do you think she put sex shows on for me, you idiots? And the point is, she gave me cue cards at times. She would literally give me little pieces, little things, clues to her profile for me to figure out. And then she told your agency, well, he's going to put it together incorrectly. He's going to say this. He's going to think this. And I've tricked him into believing a psychology I don't have. And it looks that way to you because you don't understand that she and her officers held me in and they knew that I qualified for going free of stalking. She was actually giving me real clue cards. And you go, well, this is all very diabolical. She sounds like she's from a movie and this can't be real or true. No, this is how she's getting away with doing it in front of your faces. This is the one I get and everybody else gets here. It's her being herself. Right out in the open. This is the shit she does with citizens. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. You go, well, you're saying you think it's that way because you see how she does it with citizens. No, that's you being the flakes and spinners you are. I'm giving you a perfect comparison. They're fucking with my ability to speak here. I'm giving you a perfect, exact comparison. It is the same thing she does with citizens, and she's done it with agents and agencies. So from her point of view, she and her officers are brilliant. And she's proven it to me how stupid you all are. So, but yeah, that's actually how they've done it. Horvat's whole thing was about breaking my will. That she found that attractive. Her as a psychopath. There's been nothing about stalking here at all. Stalking's been the cover story. This is how they've been getting away with everything. Being able to affect me heavily so that you get the information years late. I got news for you. Monica was there. She will tell you the same shit. Except we're not telling you jack shit. Next point is your killing is not going to change a goddamn thing here in regards to my actions and what I'm going to do with my life. So you can go fuck yourselves. That's you pretending that I have a profile that I don't have. But once you fuck up here, then you're going to have heavy consequences for all of you. Man, I'll just spill the beans on everything. I know how to do interviews without getting myself killed. But when you're just, when you've made yourself that clear, then there's no point in holding back, is there? So I just see what you do. In the meantime, I'm moving on with my life here. I'm not staying angry with you fuck-ups. And once I'm free, you're going to be like my parents here. Out of my life, I'll never be thinking about you again. This shit's not staying this way either. I'm not staying in this shit with dangerous, retarded kids. I should have been freed 22 years ago. That's the entire point. So I've got to edit this goddamn video, and that's one more I'm not going to be doing. I'll just send you spike videos and you believe what you want. You got no reason for screwing up the videos in the first place. That's one more lie, actually. You've believed everything, the entire step and way here, because agents told you, not because you actually know. Furthermore, you go proving to yourself, and actually the way that you prove to yourself, is actually, it's false. It's a lie. The file I sent off in 2014, and I thought you didn't know about all these things done with technology. It does not prove that Horvat did not hold me in stalking. That's the entire point. But for you, that's proof. Actually, it isn't. I'm wearing the shoes. Really, it's like this. 2002, Horvat held me in. I witnessed a crime. And then you just labeled everything delusional as a result. It's like Beata being raped by an agent. She tells her agency and they go, well, you're delusional. Hello? That guy's an agent, He didn't rape you. He's an agent, and you're saying it's broad daylight at the park, people there, and you're a spinner. You're delusional. Clearly, you're delusional. He tells us you're delusional, and you're delusional. So then everything about Beata turns into delusional. This is how you have performed. So Beata will bring up all sorts of points, and the way that they look at it is delusional. So then they just turn everything you say into delusional. And the reality is they're just fucking up like crazy. It really happened, but since they believe it, they just see it all over the place. This is how your agency has been the entire step and way here. Really, everybody. It took the FBI, I think it was, let's see, 8 years? 8 years to wake up. Hello? So it's been everybody. People have not double-checked their shit. You just falsely accuse me, put yourselves up here, and me way down here, the entire step and way. And you slap delusional on everything. This is just like Horvat. It's got Horvat all over it. Egotistical psychopath all over everything. Imagine that one. But you can't handle reality. So what's the logical conclusion you have to reach? Oh, well, everybody's screwed up in regards to profiling. Horvat's screwed up. Has to be one or the other. At this point, I don't even give a shit. Point is, you have screwed up in regards to profiling, and that started with the first egotistical psychopath I started with, Mr. Penis Envy. Just slapped on, oh, well, he's like his mother. Hello? Experiences with enlightenment and stuff, and just, you know, they just pick and choose what fits their world, their psychology, and their understanding. Instead of considering, being open-minded, considering the possibilities. Furthermore, you're throwing out just entire, huge, enormous profile pieces. And my real profile, by the way, for what that agent chose to believe. And this is before I got put into gang stalking. But I see the psychology of that asshole. And they just made it fit what they wanted to believe, what made sense for them. It wasn't actually based on my psychology. That's the entire point. You no more see my profile than you see Horvats. It's not a coincidence. In my third book, I speak about how the elite and psychopaths are way over here, and people like myself, enlightened people, like Mira and Andreas, myself, others are at the opposite side of the spectrum. You no more see me than you see Horvat here. So then they go affecting me when I do in the videos, then they affect my video editing. This is a perfect example. And they affect me in video. I say something like, I wouldn't, you know, I'd put my fist right into your head here. And the reality is, I would not be having contact with you. I'd not be dealing with your... You know, I have nothing to learn from being with people so stupid and ignorant like yourselves. It's like me wanting to put my fist through my father's head. You know, why waste my time? Shortly down the road here, I am never going to be with either one of these turds again. And as long as I don't have to deal with them in their ignorance, I could care less. As long as they are not attacking me and accosting me with their ignorance, I could care less. But you see here, the difference with agents and agencies is you've turned me into your own boogeyman. I am the self-invented creature on your end. Quite literally, what you believe about me exists in your heads. It doesn't even exist in mine. That's the entire point. But you're attacking me over it. So you do the math on my circumstances here, and you ask yourself, what is more killing going to do? It's not going to do anything. You can kill me, but, yeah, you can kill me. Knock yourselves out. You still haven't cleaned up your mess. You still haven't fixed the goddamn thing. And you're still going to find out the truth in a few years' time. It's the one I get that you don't. So you'll want to believe that's false hope on my end. Haha, justice and this and that. No, it's not where I'm coming from at all. It's not where I'm coming from at all. That's them fucking with me. You have to figure that one out, Beata. So you and agencies have made yourselves very clear. So I've accepted it, and I'm moving on with my life. You're going to find out the truth anyhow. You cannot change that. The only way you can change that is by waking up now. But you refuse to do it. You're like Simone. You start to think about it, and then you're like, nah, that can't be correct. Actually, if you really look and take everything I've given you here and put it all together, you can see my profile. That's the other one. This is what I'm getting to. You'll start to see the truth of Horvats. Their whole thing has been about being deliberately unbelievable. They never stop doing it. That's the one I finally came to realize in regards to how they did shit with your agency here. They used agency tactics on agents and agencies. Furthermore, they probably got that fucking idea from me because I was using it on Horvat and our officers. I finally pointed it out to him. I was like, you're balls to the wall stupid. I'm using your own agency shit on you and it works. Hello? So don't tell me you're agents and agencies here. You're all one great big fucking lie. That's the other one. Pee-wee out in Phoenix accused me of reversing shit. Do you realize because of what he communicated to me, I finally realized you all reverse shit. You think that by reversing shit, you get the truth of things. That's not how shit works. Hello? If you've been lied to and you reverse it, you get something fucked up. You just make a mess. Pretending to be agents here. Practicing shit. No, the reality is, Pee-wee out in Phoenix, he thought I was reversing. I was like, that's stupid. You don't even see me doing it. Well, you must subconsciously do it. Again, one step further removed from my profile and reality. You go slapping on one more incredibly hard to believe thing here, and it makes sense for you. Actually, it's as delusional as it looks and sounds. No, I wasn't reversing shit. I was pointing out the truth to him based on real experience and memories here. And the point is, as I came to realize, reality had been reversed with him. Hello? How do you think I got there? But you take a look at Simone. No, that can't be correct. Actually, put it all together. Yeah, guess what? You're in a world of shit here. You got a real goddamn dangerous mess. But you're too goddamn incompetent, too stupid, quite frankly, lazy-minded to do it. It's a lot easier to label me a spinner than to do your jobs. So I've already accepted all of that. You got no fucking witness, not even at gunpoint. You can't fucking forget it. You're not going to have Monica as a witness. Nobody's wasting, we're not wasting our time with you fuck-ups. It's finished. So even if you're to wake up all the way, guess what? You still got no goddamn witnesses. That's where I'm at with you fuck-ups. I've already accepted it. I'm moving on with my life, and down the road here, this will catch up with all of you. That's how it's going to play out. So that's it. I got shit to do. I've got to edit this video because of them affecting me, and it's 2.5 hours long. It's real simple. You don't affect me with technology viewpoints and technology emotional states. And strangely enough, you just get the truth from the beginning. So once again, you're fucking idiots. Look at how you do your shit. You don't take one fucking thing seriously. That's how you never find out the truth all along the way here in the first fucking place. You know, how do you think this works? If this is all real and true, and they know it, how do you think this works with you? They are lying. So look at what they communicate to you. Look at what I'm pointing out. It's real simple. I'm not practicing agency tactics because you all do shit sloppily. I'm pointing out what I see being used against you. All the shit in your file labeled as intelligently mistaken and delusional is the goddamn truth in the first place. It's how the truth of everything's been hidden. You go to 2002 and you can put it all together. Real simple. And the point is, it's not just profiling mistakes. It's how you've looked at me the entire step and way. It's always you're up here and you just prove to yourself your viewpoint. And then as soon as you do, you don't find out the truth. You just gone proving yourself all sorts of shit and you've never been right the entire time. Your file is just full of bullshit. And it's just like these points I made about space homies here at the beginning of the video. And what was the other one? But, you know, these are perfect examples. You just go seeing it the way you want to see it instead of finding out the truth. You bring your psychology to the psychology department. I can see egotistical psychopaths slapped onto me all over the place. That is about the misperceptions of others here. And the point is, you never gave a shit enough to scratch past the surface. That's not on me. I didn't create these circumstances. Okay, so I'm editing the video, and I brought up this, they brought this up like they've found something out. Like they're accusing me. Well, you said in high school you thought about becoming an FBI agent. Yet you say we're so corrupt and this and that. Well, back then you're supposed to be the best of the best. But when I looked at it, that is what I realized. People at the top are corrupt, and that was the point. I pick and choose my experience. What was the point of going into the FBI when I could see that a lot of the top leadership was corrupt? And you can see it with all sorts of agents, stories making the news and stuff. And it's only gotten worse and worse. But the point is, that was a conscious decision. I was like, well, what's the point? That was my final conclusion, corrupt. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, it looks to me like they want to sell I'm an agent wannabe. Like I'm the guy that fails becoming a cop, so then he gets a job as a security guard, and then he turns into like super cop on the job. Like he's over serious, just all up on people's shit and, you know, falsely accusing, abusing his authority. He's a cop wannabe. And, you know, somebody's trying to get that fulfillment somewhere else because he doesn't actually qualify. So this would be misdirection and them selling a psychology I don't have. Actually, everything I point out to you is the circumstances I am dealing with and what I see them doing with you and agents and agencies, period, and then citizens and stuff. It's all based on real life circumstances. It was that way when Horvat held me in stalking. It's not about what I want to be. It is me having learned all of this shit based on observation in the first place, and then I see them doing it. Strangely enough, the FBI knows it is lying through its teeth here. They are not lying to you accidentally. If I am telling you they are lying, look at what they are telling you. Take a look at what they're telling you. Take a look that I am telling you they are lying, and you can start to figure out how they're lying to you, because they're doing it daily. And you've gone along, quite literally, you are your own self-invented excuse here. You're getting this information so late because you've gone along with my being affected the entire way. That's not on me. But this shit of trying to sell I'm an agent wannabe is just a total lie. And how did I figure this out? It's based on the real-life circumstances and who I am dealing with. This is what you've done the entire way here. You've invented your own shit here, and it's sloppy profiling, and then you go believing it. We're talking about, like I've said here, take Horvat holding me and stalking. Technically, it's not a crime, but it's like witnessing a crime. It's like Beata being raped. There's no being delusional to it. But then, as you experience all of this, as Beata starts getting labeled delusional, and everybody starts slapping on delusional, and then coming up with shit like she's an agent wannabe, or this and that, you know, the point is, as they find more of their viewpoint here, that's the point. They'll just keep finding more and more delusional. They will develop more theories about Beata, and they will be believing it. And the reality is, Beata will be in the middle of it, and she'll be noting everybody fucking up in regards to understanding what's really going on, her psychology, and the psychology of the rapist. There's no difference. Yes, they are deliberately lying to you. That's the entire point. So they're trying to sell I'm an agent wannabe, and he thinks he knows. Really, I'm just speaking your language. You are familiar with all of this, and I'm pointing out your shit here to you. And furthermore, it's agency tactics being used on agents. Strangely enough, the FBI and the CIA are lying based on understanding what the real circumstances are in the first place. Did that ever occur to you? They know I'm going to bring up the truth about stuff. They can easily predict what I'm going to bring up based on understanding the real circumstances. This is how they are lying. If they're lying, that means they know it's all real and true in the first place, doesn't it? They and I are on the same level of reality here, the same page. But they have to take it and lie to you. What do? I just always bring up the truth of shit. What else am I supposed to do? You're too busy pretending to be agents instead of actually being agents. If you were to actually perform as agents here, you might actually wake up. So this thing of I'm an agent wannabe is a total goddamn lie. But it takes 2 seconds to figure out your cheap psychology and your cheap viewpoints here. It's not based on reality at all. This is the last thing in the world I want to be doing. So the point is you go throwing out common sense for your viewpoints. That ought to tell you that it's incorrect in the first place. It's sloppy profiling. Except in this case, it's actually deliberate. That's the entire point. Point is, it's sloppy profiling on your end. You just go wanting to believe it, but you throw it just looks good and sounds good and feels good. Yeah, that's it. You're sloppy as shit. It's not actually based on my psychology. That's just what you want to believe. This is what you've been doing the entire time, just making shit fit what you want to believe. That's the entire point. Everybody's been doing it. Furthermore, American agents and agencies are lying. So you take your pick, quite frankly. I don't give a shit. You'd be all the way awake and you got no witness. I'm forced into speaking about this. And I could take you to the classroom, high school class, where I was thinking about becoming an agent. This was in, I think it was sociology, maybe it was my history class. But the point is, I could take you to that classroom and I could say, look, this is where I was thinking about this. And because they see I have a memory of this. And the point is, you'd say, well, that doesn't prove anything. And you would be right to say that. That doesn't prove a goddamn thing. If you know what the truth is, it's just one more added detail, one more added fact. But you do, so you go being an agent there, and you're right, it doesn't prove anything. But then I say to you, well, you say that everything in the file from 2014 that I sent to your agency, you were wrong. We knew about it. You go, that proves that Horvat didn't lie and hold you in stalking. That is about what you feel. That's not about you honestly analyzing shit. That's one more. These agents have been blocking my ability to find the word honestly. They're blocking it. Now I was in the house here, and because correctly is not the word I want to use. And every time this is happening. And so finally they stop doing it, and I get to the word honestly. But the point is, you're not honestly assessing things there. You knowing the truth about what Horvat did in that file does not prove that Horvat did not hold me in stalking. She did hold me in stalking. That does not prove that. Yet for you it does. That's because you're not honestly analyzing shit. That's why. But that's about what you want to feel to believe. But that's not how agents and agencies are supposed to be doing their shit. And that's not how everybody else in the world thinks you do your shit. It's one of the morals of the story. You're all incompetent and stupid and dangerous. You're not protecting anybody. Then to top it off, within your illegal shit here, you've got a giant dangerous mess. And you haven't even begun to wake up. So all the way around, everybody is balls to the walls incompetent and stupid. Nobody begins to know what they're doing. I'm sitting here in the middle of an illegal government program, and even within this shit, you can't even do your shit intelligently, or, there's no sanity to any of this. So then you go saying, well, you want to believe it's all real and true. That actually makes sense for you. You just go slapping delusional onto it. Hello? That's the last thing in the world I want. That's the only way you can go free of stalking. Once again, you are your own contradiction. You don't get one goddamn thing that's going on. No, I should have been freed based on how I actually am in the first place. More than met the requirements for going free. I still do. You go, well, you're writing about agents and agencies. You're crazy. Hey, I get my circumstances, but you put me here. I've got no choice but to do this book and to get this book out. It's going to get all of them out, and it's going to get my ass out of the country. I have no fucking choice. So you are going on looks, not based on actually understanding my psychology. So then you tell yourselves I can't assess my circumstances. Once again, you're balls to the wall stupid. You have created this by not having your shit straight the entire time and way here, not me. Horvat held me in and she lied to you. And from there on out, since 2002, you've believed outrageous shit. I don't want to believe this is real. It is real and true. That's the entire point. And then you tell me I can't handle reality. Somehow this will get me free. Boy, you people are stupid. It's a contradiction. I should have been freed in 2002 because of where I'm actually at and where I was in 2002. Never mind now. So, based on the circumstances, I've got no choice but to do this book. But for you, it looks that way. Well, that's not my problem. You created that. You got to start with where the mistake making begins and then do every year. Hello? You got to get my real psychology, understand where I've always been. Starts in 2002. Really, it starts before then. But you start with 2002 and clean your shit up. Point is, I don't want to believe it. I would love for this to all be delusional. Unfortunately, it is not. But in the meantime, I should be freed based on my real psychology and where I'm actually at. That's the entire point. So every time it comes down to them lying and me speaking the truth, you just go, well, they're our homies. Like Santa Claus is real. This is where you're at. You insist that Santa Claus is real. Hello? No, actually, they're lying to you. And you have put yourselves there, and they have put you there. And furthermore, they have put themselves here with these circumstances. I cannot change or clean up your mess. Most I can do is point out my real psychology and where I'm coming from, and then hopefully you start to put the pieces together. But you don't do that one. You're lazy-minded. So they're just hijacking me more and more here. I'll end the video here. But I'll end with this. From your point of view, not mine. If you start to wake up here, you'll realize that Horvat and her officers were brilliant. They did the whole thing right out in the open, right in front of your faces, and you never saw them the entire time. That's where you start to get that Horvat is an evil mastermind here, like a movie character. And the reality is she is. That's the reality of Horvat. That's why Simone started to think about it, and she was like, no, that can't be correct. As soon as she started to hit on Horvat's psychology, she went into denial. And then you go labeling me delusional, and once again, that's a contradiction. Look at everything I'm dealing with here. You're threatening to murder family in Germany, threatening to murder me, and all based on shit you never double-checked in the first place. Even if they murder me in a few years' time, Horvat and her officers are going to have to run, and you're going to find out the truth anyhow. And you know what an entire agency is going to learn? And all German agents? You know what the moral of the story is? With all the death and torture which happened over the 12 years I was with Horvat, none of which should have been happening, That's the one you never understood from your agency? You never even figured out that much? Well, if he's telling the truth, then she's been doing all of this based on a lie in the first place. That's her real profile. You're going to learn you should double check. Wow. Professionals are going to learn that they should double check. And the final irony here is Horvat picked Beata. Oh my God. So Beata's right in the middle of all this, and she thinks the whole thing's delusional. And she's an agent. Take a look at yourselves from my point of view and the point of view of American agents. So that's it. Point is, it's a contradiction. You go saying I can't handle reality and take a look at everything I'm telling you that's going on, and I do have to deal with this. Boy, you people are stupid as shit. You're ass backwards in regards to all sorts of shit. Then you go wanting to believe I'm an agent wannabe, which somebody has come up with here, and it's misdirection. They already know that none of it's real or true. And it's flaky psychology all the way around. It's got nothing to do with my psychology, but it fits lies you've already chosen to believe. Furthermore, it's inaccurate. It's inaccurate profiling from your point of view. It's sloppy, and the reality is it's deliberate, and it's made to fit lies you already believe. It's to reinforce I'm delusional. And it takes 2 seconds for me to figure out, based on, when I was doing the video at the beginning, I had points to get into. It was just in the moment. But I realized that they were looking at something else. And of course, that's what they're trying to sell to you. And there's no truth to it at all. And furthermore, they know it. It's misdirection. You believe I'm an agent wannabe, and then that reinforces that's what this is all about. They do not want you understanding. No, actually, I've been noting how they've been lying and manipulating in regards to you and your agency the entire step and way here. If you realize that, you realize I'm a good source of information. You've got the truth of all sorts of shit in your file, and it's all been labeled delusional instead of the truth, which it is. Point is, you've got it easy. That's actually it's being reversed with you when I think about it. I'm actually doing your jobs. I'm somebody sitting in the middle of this, pointing out the tactics being used against you. Most people couldn't do this. My mother couldn't do it. All sorts of people couldn't do it. David and all sorts of people that you know of through me, nobody could. It's one more thing that's been hidden about me. And I knew that going back to Horvat. This is based here and now. I'm noting this, and then I'm thinking of past examples. I realize Horvat is hiding my intelligence level, my understanding of shit, because if you understood that, you'd understand I'm a good source of information. That's what that's about. They're hammering on what they feel is a weak point. Or they want to reinforce it. They're worried you'll wake up to that. If you understand that I've been speaking the truth the entire time, which fits in with my profile, never mind anybody with half a brain in my circumstances would just be speaking the truth in the first place. But in my case, you've got me here, the whole enlightenment thing. I've been walking this path for decades now, very far up there now at this point in time. And you understand, well, I've been speaking the truth based on that also. What am I going to do? Lie? Hello? So, and so then that reminds me of, well, Horvat was accusing me of trying to, like I'm being sneaky to pass stalking. That's never where I was coming from. Furthermore, Monica knows it. She was there. It was never about manipulating. It was about looking forward to going free and starting a new life. So don't tell me you get a goddamn thing about profiling. Your problem is you're believing shit about my profile, which has been deliberately invented, and it's lies. And And then you just keep coming up with more and more theories, which are just further and further in outer space. That's because you're labeling everything delusional. If you were to look at me with common sense, that's why I say to you, if you look at this 2002 and Horvat holding me in as a crime, then maybe you would start to see things better here. Because if you look at it, well, it's a crime, and he's saying this crime has been committed, you wouldn't be labeling everything delusional. That's been your biggest mistake. You just label everything delusional. This is why you're all fucked up. I am not your fucking Jew, you assholes. You have fucked up. I'm pointing out your mistakes, how you've made them, what is going on here, and what lying American agents are doing with you. If you wake up to that, strangely enough, they're in a world of shit. So I take a look at this. They're trying to sell this piece here, and they're trying to hammer on, well, he's agent wannabe and delusional. This is his psychology. Once again, you're in outer space. But I look at their motives here and what they're worried about. At the end of the day, the one that I've learned here is you're all delusional. You live in your own VIP world, this great big delusional world of agents and agencies. So Beat has been raped, and now we're going to kill you. Because you're saying you've been raped, but we know you're delusional. Hello? You've taken a crime, and you've turned it all into delusional. But that's the reality of my circumstances. It'd be like Beata being raped, and then agencies are like, well, we're going to kill you. Hello? Oh, you're telling us you've been raped. You're a threat to us. Hello? You're balls to the walls incompetent. The next point is you're running around killing people instead of getting to the bottom of things. This is how dangerous you are. You're so stupid and incompetent, you're dangerous. But it makes sense for you. But this is your private world. I'm telling you it's finished, and that doesn't exist. That's your delusional world, not mine. I live in reality here. That's why you're worried about consequences. You know, and if I send this off to people from alternative media, this is about right and wrong. There is no stalking. So that shit's finished. This is where I put alternative media and agents. You're all in the same category for a lot of people here. It's real simple. What's the truth of things here? Everybody think I'm making up the FBI's guilty? So end of story. Nobody has any business doing what they're doing here. It is all illegal. And then with agents and agencies here, you don't have your shit straight in the first place. You haven't honestly analyzed things. You haven't even performed as agents. Whole thing's about what you feel. You feel what to believe here. This is about your opinion of the world and not reality. So all the way around, I'm done with everybody here. It's this book out, all my books out, interviews, and I'm getting out of the country. Furthermore, they're going to put in all the censorship, and I'm not going to have any books out anyhow. I have a very small window for making money from my books, because the reality is they're going to shut down the internet, and my books will be shut down anyhow. Nobody, and that's the one I get that you guys know. It's going to be worldwide internet censorship, and that's the beginning of the goddamn fascism. Jesus, how stupid are you guys? So that's how it's playing out. You're going, well, it looks this way. I don't give a shit how it looks to you. That's not reality. Reality is what I'm dealing with, not your fucking lies. You know what the story here is after LJ stole my cassette in Berlin? You know what the story here is? I went to Mother Mira's for Darshan. And because I live 3 kilometers from her. So I went to Mother Mira's, had Darshan, and you put your head down, she has her hands on your head, then she looks at you. And before I walked away, she gave me this look, and it was like a warning look. She'd never done this before. So I got home, and I was thinking about it. LJ did a brain squeeze. And how I read Mother Mira's look was danger. And I thought, danger? I thought, why is she communicating danger with this look? And you know, I've been to see Mother Mira a million times. And I was like, that's weird. And then I was like, hang on, she's a saint. She's a modern day Jesus. And she knows the truth, and she knows it in a way that we don't. That's the one I get that you don't. I checked with you, Jurgen. That one question, I found out very much about you and your belief systems. You know, you don't believe in her, but quite literally, you've got a modern day Jesus living right next to you. A piece of God on earth. That's exactly what that is. You see her as being a normal human. She doesn't begin to be. You see me as being like you. Actually, I am as different from you as Horvat is as different from you. Horvat is a psychopath. I'm at the other end of the spectrum here. Let me know when it sinks in. You've made the same mistakes with me as you've made with Horvat here. That's a statement of fact. So I was like, well, she's communicating danger. And I was like, how can I be in danger? I don't, you know, how's that? But I realized it must be true. So then I started analyzing my circumstances. Here I am with agents, dealing with technology. And I was like, they stole my proof. They stole the cassettes, which had proof that Horvat had done unauthorized murder. I had journal entries from the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th. And you could even hear the pages turning while I was reading the journal entries. The innuendos Horvat gave each day. Furthermore, the one that I get that you do not is Horvat did 5 innuendos on one day, 500 times to 1,000 times for each innuendo. And she did 5 on one day and 6 on the other. The reason why she did it that way was so that I could never forget that this was before the 17th. She's rubbing in my face. And also so I couldn't be in denial of her having done it. She was rubbing in my face what she had done and gotten away with. And the way she lied in her file apparently was, well, it happened on the 17th. And then I believed her. Boy, you're balls to wall stupid. All of a sudden, I become an idiot for your viewpoints. That's maybe how my mother would do shit. It's not how I do my shit. But the point is, I realized LJ took my proof, and he had hijacked me with technology. He had blocked my memory of stealing the cassette and that I had proof. Hello? And he had hijacked me like we're all buddies and on friendly terms. And I realized, holy shit, this fucker is hijacking me, has me totally oblivious to my circumstances. It wants to get all the information from me, and then they just want to get rid of me. Hello? And that is what the danger was about. And that was my assessment going all the way back to Horvat before I left Horvat. Back when I was with my family. I was like, there's no point in approaching the CIA because if they get to the bottom of it, they're just going to get everything and then they're going to want to get rid of me. Hello? So the point is, what you believe is a goddamn contradiction. All of a sudden, I become an idiot. My intelligence just goes right down to where you're at in Paris Hilton here for your viewpoints. You project onto me, I'm an idiot, and actually I'm telling the truth. You believe those lies because you don't want to believe the reality of the circumstances. Professionals. But take a look at it from LJ's point of view and his officers. They realized Mother Mira is real. So then they communicated to me, well, we'll sell it as she made you more delusional or something. She's a threat. We're going to try and turn her into a threat. Give me a break. She knows what the truth is better than German agents do of the whole thing here. But of course, LJ and his officers, they realize, well, she's real. And furthermore, I had gone for Darshan, and just like every other group of agents, they see the effects of Mira putting her hands on my head. And you can feel the energy and stuff changing in my body and in my mind. Hello? That's not delusional. That's not expectations. I never had any idea of what to expect. It's not always the same as the other end of it. It's not based on expectations, you idiots. Getting back to another point, she lives 4 or 5 kilometers from you, Jurgen, and you never found out. You could have found out on your own. You didn't double check. Imagine that one. All your belief systems could have changed by visiting Mother Mira. Modern day Jesus living right near you. You have no idea as to how good you have it. And you never double checked. You never questioned your own beliefs. No, nothing. You didn't challenge your own belief systems. And strangely enough, this is a point that you and Beata have in common. You don't grow or change. You two are stuck. You are psychologically stuck where you are, and you will always be that way for the rest of your lives. It's totally different than how I am. It's totally different than how Monica is. Hello? What I and Monica, quote, believe here is not based on lies. It's based on what actually happened in our lives. We didn't wake up thinking Horvat and our officers are corrupt. We had the experience. That is how we got there. Just like anybody else is based on experience and observation. It's based on reality. And in regards to a lot of my experiences, the Enlightenment, space homies, this, that, you go telling me that you understand it better than I do. And the reality is you don't even get this shit in the first place. I do. Yet you then go telling me how it works. You're like second graders, kids in class 2, trying to tell me that you get calculus and I'm a goddamn calculus professor from a university. Hello? You just reinvent it so that you're correct. You think you understand it better than I do. And the way that you got there is by labeling a lot of it delusional in the first place. And you labeled it delusional in the first place because you don't actually get how it works. You just go self-labeling yourselves experts in regards to subjects where you have absolutely no authority, absolutely no knowledge. And what it really gets down to is what you want to feel to believe about me in the first place. That's professional. That doesn't even begin to be objective. That is extremely biased and prejudiced right from the get-go. And you've done it the entire way here. And Horvat got you there. An egotistical psychopath, playing you with your egos. You just went believing all this cheap, flaky shit like I'm an agent wannabe. Yet the point is, you take a look at how I analyze shit, like Mira giving me this danger sign, which was weird, never done it before. LJ had just stolen my proof, which you went along with. And take a look at how I assess shit. I assess my circumstances, and then everything changed. He had hijacked me. I just woke up instantly different one day, with memories gone. He tried fucking me, and furthermore, he tried fucking me in a way that was going to get me killed. Really, it's the same shit Horvat was doing when I had journal entries. Thing is, I was fighting with Horvat and her officers. I kept waking up, I kept finding the journal entries by accident, and I kept realizing what they're doing with technology, and I got sneaky. And I snuck some onto cassettes. Some of those journal entries. I had to be subversive here. I had to be sneaky. They were affecting me with technology, and the reality is I had proof. They kept wiping my memory and just, you just wake up different. Or all of a sudden your thoughts stop. You can't realize the importance of journal entries. Hello? How do you think that works? It's not because I was delusional. That's because I was affected heavily. I had proof. How do you think it works? Think the mafia is going to let you have the proof? Fuck you. You've been balls to the walls incompetent the entire stepping way here. So in regards to all sorts of shit, technology effects have been dumped on me. And you just go believing all of it. You just label everything delusional. You see everything as delusional. Actually, common sense explains everything. So that's it.